Okay, here's a quick little review before you take your exponential test. All right, so if you look, you've got the growth. The growth is the formula y equals a times b to the x power. Well, so is the decay. Okay, so what makes them different? Well, a growth is going to be when the b is equal to 1 plus the rate. Okay, so remember the rate is your percent, and you have to change it to a decimal. Two ways to do that. Either move it 2 places to the left. So here's your decimal point. To make it from a percent to a decimal, move 2 places to the left, right? Or you can take it and divide the number by 100. Whatever your rate is, percent, divide it by 100, and that'll give you the number to place inside this R. Okay, that's the growth. Well, the same thing for a decay, except of the minus sign. You have to do 1 minus the rate. So you still have to change it, but you have to do 1 minus the rate. Okay, so some words that can tell you that it's a growth or a decay. Growth, of course, if it says that it's increasing. Gaining, appreciating, increases, we already got that. Any words that mean that it is getting more added, more value added to it. Okay, a decay, you might have words as decreasing, depreciates, okay, or depreciating. That's when it loses value. Okay, anything that means that you're losing info. Okay, so what happens is it comes down like this. That's a decay. Growth goes up like this. So it's increasing rapidly. This one decreases rapidly. Okay, so first, if you have an equation and you're trying to find the A, remember A is your initial value, your starting value, how much you start with. Beginning amount, original cost, all of those could be put in here for your A. Right? A is always located on the outside of the parentheses. It's also your y-intercept. You're going to see next week when we're doing graphing that you'll be able to find out by looking at the A to find where it crosses your y-axis. All right, so this one here, if I write above it, A, parentheses is your B, raised to the x power. Your A is 8. Your B is 0.25. Now, if I'm determining if it's a growth or decay just by looking at the equation, if B is greater than 1, it's a growth. Okay, so you always ask yourself, you take that number, is 0.25 greater than 1? No, it's not. If it's not, it's a decay. Because a decay is between, the B is between 0 and 1. Okay, that's a decay. All right, so we come over here. Let's do this one. You got your A, B to the x power. Your A is 4. That's your initial amount, starting amount, your y-intercept. Your B is 2.5. Okay, so is it a growth or is it a decay by looking at the equation? Well, remember B is greater than 1 is a growth. So come over here, go. 2.5 is 2.5 greater than 1. That's yes. This is a growth. Okay, that's just a quick little review. We started this back on week 6. Okay, now let's start looking at the word problems. Okay, come over here and take a look at this first one. Your test is going to be multiple choice, or like I always like to say, multiple guess. But here we go. We want to guess accurately. Let's be intelligent about doing our guesses. All right, so here we go. It says the population of Johnson City has grown. Ooh, grown. You want to look for words like that because that means it's a growth. What that'll tell you is your B has to equal 1 plus the rate. All right, so it's a growth, so we're going to make sure we understand that. Let's see if we can find the A and the B. We definitely need the R on these. Okay, so it says growth rate of 3.2%. So this is my percentage. Let's change it to a decimal. Okay, you can either move it 2 places to the left, or you can take your calculator, if you have a calculator, even though your cell phone calculator, you can come over here and go 3.2 divided by 100. 3.2 divided by 100, press enter, and it gives you 0.032. 0.032. A lot of you are just using that and you're forgetting about the 1 plus or the 1 minus. But right here, my B is going to be 1 plus because it's a growth, 0.032. Okay, what that ends up being is 1.032. That's actually my B. Okay, my A, starting amount, look, guys, I wouldn't even worry about that because all of these have the same starting amount. So we know your A's got to be the 25,000. Okay, some of you are dropping off your zeros. Some of you didn't know millions. Millions has 6 zeros. Okay, that's for millions. So if you had 3 million, you'd put the 3 right there, plus your 6 zeros. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look. We have the 25,000. That's not going to help us. So we're looking, we know it's a growth. So one thing, if you're just looking at this as a multiple choice, remember a growth, the B has to be greater than 1. This B is not greater than 1. So that couldn't be your answer. This B is not greater than 1. That can't be your answer. This one is greater than 1. It's a 3.2. And this one is a 1.032. Okay, both of these are greater. Okay, the difference is that this one here, all they did was place the rate in there. And they didn't even change it to a decimal. So that one's not correct. This one right here is the correct answer. All right, so you want to be a little knowledgeable of what you're looking for and guess right if you're going to guess. Okay, let's check another one, number 2. All right, it says tractor has a depreciation rate of 19% per year. The original price of the tractor was $29,000. This situation can be modeled by this function right here. Y equals 29,000 times 0.81 raised to the x power. What does the 29,000 represent? So they're looking at this right here. Well, if you know the equation for exponentials, it is y equals a, b is in your parentheses, raised to the x power. You know it's exponential because it's got the tiny x. It's raised to the x power. All right, so they just want us to know, what is this? Well, sometimes it'll say, oh, it's the initial start point, or it's the beginning point. But you have to read through the words to see if you can eliminate the answers. The price of the tractor after 6 years. Well, I don't even see 6 in the problem here. So that one can't be right. The rate of the tractor decreases each year. All right. Is this the rate that the tractor decreases? 29,000. No, remember it decreases at 19%. Right? So if you were looking at that, you would do 1 minus 0.19, which gives me my 0.81. So this, your B value, is part of the amount that it decreases each year. So that's not right. The original price of the tractor, well, this one actually says original price of the tractor was $29,000. So that one right there would be my answer. But I'm going to go and read the last one just in case. The number of years the tractor will be used by the owner. Do we even know? Nope, we don't know how long they're going to use it. Okay, now this could be reworded, and this could be this could say the start amount, or they might say initial amount. Okay, so when you're looking at these problems, the A value is your starting amount, your initial amount, the y-intercept. Okay, we'll be talking a whole bunch more about the A being the y-intercept next week. Okay, so now let's take a look at a number 3. These are all types of problems that you might see on your upcoming test. You invest $1,000 in an account paying 5.5% interest compounded annually. Write an exponential function that could be used to determine y, the value of the investment after X years. Okay, so if you take a look, all of these have 1,000 at first. That's your starting amount, okay? And that's how much you're investing. So it does not matter what, in this particular case, the A is, because it's all the same on your equations. Now, if you take a look, what's different about each equation or each function is that the number inside the parentheses. And remember, that's your B. Y equals A parentheses B raised to the X power. Remember, f of X is the same thing as Y. Okay, so the B is changing. So let's go look. Is this a growth or is this a decay? Well, it says that it's going to be paying you 5.5% interest. That is a growth. Okay, so we're going to come over here and we're going to look and see, is this B greater than 1? Yeah, that one's greater than 1. Is this one greater than 1? No, 0.055 is not greater than 1. Is 0.945 greater than 1? Nope. That can't be the answer. Those would both be decay. Okay, this one right here, 5.5, yeah, it is greater than 1. So we've got to look at these two. So you have to know, what is your B for a growth? It's 1 plus your rate. Okay, so what's the rate? My R is equal to this rate right here. This is how much it grows, 5.5%. Again, we need to take and find out what is that R value. Well, what you have to do is you have to come over here, take your calculator, take the 5.5 and divide it by 100. Press enter, and you get 0.055. So R is actually 0.055. Okay, place that right in here for the R, 0.055. We're going to add 1 to it. 1 plus that is actually 1.055. So that goes in the parentheses. You can tell this one is not correct. That one is correct. Now what they actually did is letter C here is a decay. Because if I took 1 minus 0.055, put that in the calculator, get 0.945. So what they're testing, if you would have picked C instead of A, then you would have thought it was a decay. So if it was a decay, it would have said something like you're losing 5.5%. Okay, something like that. Or they're charging you 5.5% interest, right? But they're not. They're saying it's paying you, so it's a growth. All right, good luck on your test. If you still need some more help, go back to the videos on week 6 and the videos on week 7.